Hey y'all, I know it's early morning, but I just wanted to touch base with you before I went off to work. So Trina posted her live last night. She went live and she set the record straight. She had some things to get off of her chest. And as I predicted, Trina was going to be on her grown woman shit and she wasn't going to say anything negative about her friend because at the end of the day, as I've stated before, these women are friends. She checked her team like I thought she would. Okay. Now, if she didn't check her team, then definitely that would have been a red flag to say she agrees with them. But obviously, if you watch the live, she gets into some things and she takes full responsibility with what's going on with her album. For all these Nicki hate train haters, please watch the live and see that everybody that did a feature on Trina's album did it for, guess what? Goose egg, $0. Free 99. All right. She didn't have to pay for any of those features because these are the kind of relationships that Trina has. Like I said, I was not willing to drag Trina last time when I said that this wasn't Nicki's fault. I didn't blame Trina either. I said that this was a bad look on her team, but she came out and checked these people that were speaking on her behalf. Now, was she in her feelings at all about the whole Meg thing? I don't know. Maybe she was for a moment, but at the end of the day, she took responsibility for the business side of the game. And like I've said before, this is about business. I mean, friends are friends. But at the end of the day, when you are a businesswoman, you got business going on, the business has to be right. And that was not on Nicki. So for all these people, it's still going to be, the crazy part about it is, even after Trina came out and said this was not Nicki's fault, this was a business thing, bad business was done, and it has nothing, and I mean nothing at all to do with Nicki Minaj. People are still going to drag Nicki for it. Even when Trina just said, that ain't Nicki's deal, that ain't nobody else's deal. She did a bad business deal. She just got bad business going on and she's trying to fix it. Okay? That just shows you how crazy this whole Nicki hate train is. Now, I've also stated that Trina's team is going to ruin her brand. She brought that up. She speaks for herself. I don't know why they felt like they should have spoken for her. They were obviously feeling some type of way. Trina's A&R, for instance. If you're Trina's A&R and you're making hashtags like I'm with Cardi or something like that, or I choose Cardi and stuff like that, shouldn't you, as her A&R, choose Trina? Shouldn't Trina be your hashtag? Shouldn't you be taking the time instead of throwing petty shots at Nicki Minaj by invoking Cardi B's name, who had nothing to do with this, by the way? Shouldn't you be like promoting your artist at that time? Like, why bring Cardi into it and not promote your own artist? Not one time did he put hashtag Trina when he put out that little petty post that he did about Nicki Minaj. That's silly. And furthermore, he could have potentially ruined the relationship that Nicki and Trina had because now we know his true feelings about Nicki. I wonder would he have had any of these feelings if, Meg and Nicki didn't work together. He probably would have still been silent on it. But as you can see, if you watch the live, Trina reveals that it was just bad business on her end. Okay, which sounds to me like she didn't have the funds. And all these people that did features on her albums did it because they love her. All right, because they didn't take a dime. She didn't pay them a dime. She probably didn't have the money to pay them. And they love her so much. They support her so much. They believe in her so much that they were willing to do a feature. These kind of big name artists like Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj, they're not doing features for free. That just shows you the relationships that they have with her. And her team could have easily ruined that. But I'm not about to make this all about Trina. I'm going to get on the Barbs for a minute. I am not a Barb. I like Nicki Minaj. There's some things that I don't necessarily always agree with what she does, but I do appreciate that she stands up for herself. But just as I've said before with Beyonce, where I felt like sometimes Beyonce, I wish she would say something and put her beehive in check. I certainly feel like at some point, Nicki's going to have to tell the Barbs seriously. Like, she's been joking about it, but calm the hell down. Just like Trina's A&R or Trina's team could have potentially ruined her brand, the Barbs are ruining Nicki's brand as we speak. All right? You're not making it easy for her. Some of you guys think that you are defending her, but sometimes you just do too much. Yesterday, some of y'all dragged Trina for filth without even knowing what she was going to say, without even trusting that she was going to be mature about it. If you've seen Trina, you should have known. If you've known anything about Trina, you should have at least let it play out, because I said at the end of the day, these women are friends, and Trina being who she is, more than likely these women were going to handle it privately. But once she decided she was going to go live, I knew Trina wasn't going to say nothing negative about Nicki. I just knew she wasn't, because she's never seemed to come off that way. She just hasn't. So, but the stands, the Barbs, they dragged this woman for filth. Dragged her for filth. Now, what are you saying today? It's just like, come on. Sometimes y'all just got to back down and stop. You do too much. And I've seen it over and over and over again. Every time there's a post about anything on social media, I'll see some Barbs. Well, what about Nicki? Well, Nicki should have did. It's like, why do you have to invoke Nicki when people aren't talking about her? All right. It doesn't always have to involve Nicki. Nicki has got to just, I don't know. She needs to say something to her Barbs, because sometimes they just do too much. I've seen it. I'm just like, they attack people for no reason at all. All right. I've just chalked it up to the fact that I'm hoping that these Barbs are like some teenager behind a phone, behind a screen. I'm just not willing to believe that these Barbs are like in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I just hope not, because that's even more embarrassing that you guys, some of you are spending all your time just doing too much online. All right. There's one thing to defend her. All right. And I get it, because Nicki, for the longest time, was silent and she didn't say anything. But then there's another thing to literally harass people, just harass them. And I've seen it happen over and over and over again when it comes to the Barbs. Sometimes they are just in the comments on a post that has nothing to do with Nicki. Nothing to do with Nicki. And they are harassing people. They're bringing Nicki into it. They're invoking her name. They're invoking Cardi that shouldn't even be there. Again, I've said it before. Just because if someone's talking about Nicki does not mean that you need to invoke Cardi's name, and vice versa. Just like Cardi's Barty gang doesn't need to invoke Nicki. That's the problem. Some of these stands are just so outrageous. And I know that these women aren't paying y'all. So just relax. All right. I'm glad that in the end, Trina took to her grown woman and she came out and she set the record straight and she checked her team. That was important, because again, the Nicki hate train is so long. We really didn't need another, train. We didn't need another car on the long train. And I didn't feel like Trina was going to do that anyway, because as I've stated before, I knew that these women had been friends for a long ass time. All right. And when you're genuine friends, you're just not going, you could still get upset with each other. Y'all might be in your feelings and stuff. But at the end of the day, Trina came out and said, listen, Nicki did this for me. I didn't owe her a dime for this. All right. She did this because of our relationship, because she loves me. All right. And business is business. I did bad business. Case closed. All right. So I'm glad. I hope this is settled. I hope nothing more comes out of this. But I ain't going to lie. If something else comes out of it, I'm going to be on here putting another video out. But in the meantime, you know what? hopefully we can put this to rest and it's over. Good job, Trina. You and your grown woman. Nicki, you and your grown woman. I hope this friendship will continue to flourish. And everybody else needs to stay out of it. Their teams, just stay out of it. Barbs, sit down. All right. Trina's team, sit down. And y'all have a good day. Take care, y'all.